Hi, I'm Naughty from Guilds Are Serious, and today I'll be explaining the Razorscale fight in 25-man Ulduar. For the purposes of time, I have started this video about midway into the fight. Don't worry, all things will be explained before the fight is over. One of the most important things about the Razorscale fight is positioning during the ad phases. For this fight, we used 3 tanks. One would tank in the middle, one would tank on the left side, and one on the right side. In this way, we could cover all mole machines spawning ads and not have to deal with any aggro on healers or DPS. From these mole machines, there are 3 types of ads that spawn: Watchers, Sentinels, and Guardians. The highest priority of these 3 is Sentinels. The Sentinels will cause a large amount of damage via a whirlwind and also do a lot of single target damage to whoever is tanking. For this video, we use the middle tank to tank these Sentinels. Of the other 2 types of ads, the Watchers are the more important for the DPS to destroy, because they cast Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning. Both of these abilities can be interrupted, but the more important of the 2 to interrupt is most definitely Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, much like the Shaman's ability, will cause a large amount of AoE damage, and most likely kill at least one raid member. As a result, what we did in this video was told certain melee and ranged DPS to rotate interrupts into their normal rotation in order to stop this Chain Lightning from being cast. Throughout the encounter, every raid member will get several warnings that turrets are ready. Once 4 turrets are ready, all 4 must be fired by one designated raid member, and this will allow Razorscale to come down. Heavy DPS is required on Razorscale during this phase because there's a limited amount of time for which she will be grounded. Once Razorscale reaches 50%, she will no longer lift up into the air and phase 2 will begin. Should there be any ads remaining, especially Sentinels, when this phase starts, it is very important to get rid of all of them before going to DPS Razorscale. DPS must take care of about 15 to 20% of Razorscale's health during each of the phases when she is grounded. The goal is to make sure that she is at 50% by the end of the 3rd temporary grounding phase. Because of time constraints, I started this video right before the 3rd grounding phase, and as you can see, we have fully grounded Razorscale now. Before I go on to explain anything else, it is very important that every raid member know that Devouring Flame, these blue patches that you see on the ground during all of the phases, is very important to get out of, as it will cause a large amount of damage and most likely 1 or 2 shot any raid member. In addition to healing through this, raid healers must also heal through Fireball, which is cast at a random raid member every few seconds and causes a good deal of damage. Additionally, during temporary grounding phases, it is very important for all melee and ranged DPS to be behind Razorscale, as she will do a Flame Breath which will cause a large amount of conal AoE damage to whoever is in front of her. After the first 2 temporary grounding phases, Razorscale will do a Wing Buffet which will knock everyone back. This must be raid healed through, but it is fairly easy to do. After Razorscale is permanently grounded, she will gain 2 new abilities in addition to her Flame Breath and Wing Buffet. The first of these 2 new abilities is Flame Buffet, a stacking debuff applied to the entire raid which will cause fire damage taken to be increased. As a result from this and the newly extended Enrage timer, DPS must be very quick to down her during this final phase. Any cooldowns that you have, including Bloodlust and Heroism, must be used during this phase if they have not been used already. The second and more dangerous of these 2 new abilities is Fuse Armor, which will be cast on the tank. Every so often, she will put another stack of this on the tank. For this reason, it is very important for the tanks to communicate so that they can taunt off of each other and make sure that they do not have 2 stacks on them at any time. Thanks for watching Guilds Are Serious' guide to 25-man Razorscale, and remember, 25-man Ulduar is serious business.